I'm going to show you how to replace a broken tile. This one has a big crack in it right here. And they had one tile left over from getting this floor done. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the new tile that's going to replace this old one before I even attempt to pull this broken one out. I got the supervisors here inspecting the work I'm doing. Isn't that right, girl? These are my friends here. This is Carmela. She's a good girl. Let me get this one cut, and then we'll begin the process of taking the broken one out, because we don't have, if the cut goes wrong and it cracks, I don't have any other tile to work with, and they don't make this anymore. So it's important to make sure that you do it right and you don't leave a naked hole here. All right, I got my piece cut. This is the rough draft. I may have to trim it a little, but I know that it's not gonna have a major break. So the next thing I wanna do is tape up around my job site here so that I don't scuff anything. You don't wanna have to do any extra work. You only wanna have to replace the one that you're replacing. So I'm gonna tape the wood and then tape this other tile, just so that if my tools go farther than I want, they don't leave a skid mark. And to prevent dust from dusting out the whole house, we're going to use a shop vac. Whenever we use the multi-tool, we're going to run the shop vac, whether we're cutting wood or cutting the grout out. So we've cut the grout out. The reason we want to cut the grout out is because any hitting with the hammer, the shock waves will continue through the grout and can crack the next tile over. So by cutting the grout out, you single out that tile, and so you can beat and bang on it, and the crack lines won't continue over into the next tile. Plus, you got to clean it out anyway, so it just makes a lot of sense just to go ahead and clean it up in the beginning. So now I'm going to go ahead and crack this tile all the way and see if I can't get a pry bar under it and get it up. Let's see, it popped all the way. Oh yeah. I want to break that cabinet. But I want to get as much out as I can to make it easy to go back in. All right, so the tile is all out. Now I got to get the thin set out, make room for more thin set. And this thin set isn't real old, and it's pretty hard, so I have my work cut out for me here. All right, so we got it in. I got a little rocking going on. Still kind of high over here. There's rocking on something right there, and we want it laying flat. And I want to be able to get thin set under all of it so that it doesn't crack again. The reason the old one cracked is because they didn't get proper adhesion on the tile. You see a little bit of thin set stuck, but the big piece I took up, it was just dry. Probably had dry thin set when they stuck it down in it, and they beat it with a mallet and thought it would work, but it won't. So what I do when I replace them like this is I use a small V-notch trowel, and I trowel the floor and trowel the tile, and then put it in, and then if it needs more thin set, pull it out and put a little more thin set in places, and and get full coverage underneath the tile so it doesn't crack again. So we get this thing back out and see what's making it rock, and then we'll get it stuck in. All right, we're ready for thin set. All right, I got my thin set mixed up. I'm gonna show you, this is Schluter All Set that I use. I don't use it for everything, but I use it to adhere my membrane when I'm doing showers, and I believe it's the best thin set made. And they didn't pay me to say that, but I'd love it if they would. So we kind of tore up some of the substrate, and the Schluter All Set will stick to the wood, it'll stick to plastic, it'll stick to about anything. Looking good. Carmela goes howl over the phone. Yeah, yeah. I know. I hate telemarketers too. Yeah. Me and her both hate telemarketers. I mean, not like hate their guts, but just like we don't like them calling and bothering us while we're working. All right, we got our new piece in. We just got to clean up and grout. All right, so the grout is a couple years old, so there was no way to get an exact match. So what I'm doing is I'm grouting a little beyond the point where I repaired. And that will make the change in the color a little less noticeable, just kind of blending it. And then you'll never notice that the color wasn't exact. All right, looking good. Wipe it down and glue the threshold back. And that's it. That is how you change a broken tile. Like it never happened. All right, see you next time.